Every time you think about talking about brown people, instead, stop and talk about Christian Zionists. Okay, anytime you want to talk about getting the brown people out, this is just a good rule of thumb. Okay, stop what you're talking about and be like, oh wait, I'm a fucking idiot. Christian Zionists are the problem. Okay, and then say that instead, okay? Does that make sense? Because I don't hear you talking about that enough, man. We're watching Jimmy Talks now. This video is called Iran War Update and Why Regime Change is Impossible. Now, this video was posted yesterday, at the time that I'm recording this, but there was actually some shit that happened today with Iran, some pretty important shit. That I don't think he'll be addressing in this video because of, obviously, it happened after the fact, okay? But anyway, we'll get into all that in a minute. Okay, let's hear what he has to say.
Now, let's get into the Iran war and what's going on currently.
Let's get into it.
And the current and future ramifications of this.
Hooray!
I put out a couple of videos recently. They were more theory and stuff to think about, but this one's going to be different today. It's going to be kind of like an analysis of everything that's going on today. Think of it as like a situation report. But before we get into it, make sure to check out my
status report.
Links are in the description below. And if you like the channel and want to support my work, consider the Patreon for $5 a month. It's just to support the channel. You will all get the content regardless. Now, with that out of the way, let's get into it. Because right now, what I'm seeing and what everybody else is seeing is that we're just watching our country bleed out and waste money all over a desert war. And
I agree.
The worst part is he's Zionist lobby that controls all of our politicians, and Trump himself, they refuse to admit it. They don't want to just cut their losses at this point. You know, this is a war for Israel. This does not benefit us. We're being bogged down in something that is very catastrophic, and it's also entirely avoidable. For us, this was optional. For Iran, though, you know, this is very existential. This is the end-all, be-all. This is what they've been preparing for since we invaded Iraq back in 2003, 2004, something like that. You all get it. 2003, I'm pretty sure. But anyways, they're seeing this as like, oh shit, you know, Israel's enemies are being taken out, and the U.S. is pretty much the pit bull on the leash right now. We need to start getting our defenses up, getting our missiles up, and that's what they've been doing for the past 20, going on 30 years, and now the moment's here for them. But before I get into more of that, in the invasion of Iran that might possibly happen, before I get into all of that, let me put this very bluntly and make it very crystal clear. This war does not benefit the United States of America when you think about it strategically. Remove all the bias that you possibly can.
No.
Just look at, hey, maybe how does this benefit us? It doesn't. It doesn't at all. It does not benefit the American class. It does not secure the border.
Yo, I'm shocked.
It doesn't lower our taxes, and certainly it does not make the world safer for everyday Americans. But what it is doing, it's draining all of our money. It's already adding on to the rapid inflation that's going on. It is also making our military overstretched as we're taking all of our assets and we're moving towards the Eurasian area.
And while we're on this topic, okay, that's a perfect segue. That's a perfect segue. He brought up money, okay? In America, we have this program called the F-35 program. That's right. And basically, the F-35 is a jet. It's a fighter jet. They go plow, plow, they go boom, okay? And we have invested $2 trillion in these jets, okay? Each one of them costs, I think, over $100 million to manufacture. But with all of the jets combined, plus the, like the engineering costs, the research, $2 trillion. And today on March 19th, 2026, or actually I think yesterday, it was either late last night or early this morning, Iran shot down an F-35 using cheap missiles. And that's not even the worst part, because according to intelligence, they shot it down, and the fighter jet pilot didn't even know they had been hit. That's right, the detection systems completely failed. And the missile hit, the jet went down. That's what happened. Okay, bye-bye F-35. That $2 trillion of investment for this program. And they just annihilated it with, like, fucking nerd engineer math, okay? That Iran is Chud Nation, bro.
Focusing on Iran a lot more. And also, it's putting a target on our backs, and it's making us just look bad. It's all to serve the interest of a foreign nation, Israel. And you could even argue a little bit the military-industrial complex benefits from this as well, but this is totally 100% just a war for Israel.
What?
Nobody supports this shit.
Wait, what? A little bit? Hold on. Dog, what do you think the point of Israel is? Do you think that I think that in these guys' minds, they think that, like, the Jews were just like, oh, let's just start Israel. Let's do Israel. And then America was just like, oh, alright, that's cool. Like, we'll help you out. Like, no, man. Israel was created for the military-industrial complex, by the military-industrial complex, for the express purpose of having a satellite in the region, so that we could dominate, we could do resource extraction. That's what it is, dog. That's what all of this is.
And it's making us just look bad. It's all to serve the interest of a foreign nation, Israel. And you could even argue a little bit the military-industrial complex benefits from this as well.
Yeah, a little bit.
Just a war for Israel.
Right.
Except for magatards and Zionists. So let's break down exactly what is happening right now, because what you're seeing in the news, it's confusing people, and they do that on purpose. A lot of the neoconservative think tanks that don't market themselves as neocons, they lie and say they're nationalists, and they're just full of shit. They push Israel first means America first. It's just like, no, actually it doesn't. As well as the fact that Fox News has boomers in a stranglehold right now. But yeah, it doesn't serve us at all. None of this is good. But let's look at the very beginning. We'll go back all the way to June. Operation Midnight Hammer. This happened June last year, 2025. We struck a bunch of uranium enrichment facilities where they make nukes in Iran. The intel reports came in that we did not do that much damage, and that they were able to rebuild it and repair it. So it really all started there. I mean, you could even go back and say this started back in the 90s with the 1992 clean break memo, but that's in my video about the history of Zionism. So if you want more information on that, go check out that video. But I'm trying to just remain like talking about stuff that is happening right now. So why don't we go back to this year, February 28th, the U.S. and Israel, because Israel controls America. Anyways, they want something called Operation Epic Fury, and everybody is calling it Operation Epstein Fury. Pretty funny. Anyways, they both launched a massive joint strike on Iran.
Yeah, I like to call it Operation Fortnite Chungus. Okay, that's what I didn't come up with that. Okay, that's what Hassan calls it. And it's true. It's true. I like to call it Operation Reddit Fury. Okay, it's because that's what it is, man. Dude, Epic Fury has got to be the most dog shit name they could have come up with. It's gotta be on purpose. It's gotta be intentional. Like, this shit they cannot be this stupid. They can't be this incompetent, bro. Operation Epic Fortnite Chungus Battle Pass? What the fuck are we talking about, man?
When Trump started all this, the goal was very simple. This is the goal that they had on paper, and it was just one thing, really. All to do with Iran, it was regime change. That's all they wanted to do. They wanted to completely kill and destroy the Iranian leadership, which is the Ayatollah and about 50 of his guys that are underneath him, and they did do that. They wanted to bomb all of Iran's military infrastructure and just completely destroy it, and then they wanted to, hopefully, after they bombed them, they also wanted to tell the Iranian people, like, hey, start a revolution now, guys, start a revolution. But that actually backfired. The Iranian people were like, no, actually, we hate Israel more than, we may have beef with the Ayatollah, but we actually hate Israel more. You guys are bombing us right now. So they went ahead and followed their plan. The plan was to kill the supreme leader, that is the Ayatollah. And then after that, the neocons and DC and Trump and all of the magatards, they're like, yes, this is awesome. And the war hawks in Israel, because they want to get rid of Iran, they were all excited or giddy and happy. Yay, the war's over. They thought that they were just going to win all of this shit, but it didn't work, and it completely backfired, because you got to realize that people running our foreign policy, they don't really give a shit about America. They're willing to do anything that they can to prop up Israel. And also, some of them are just actually retarded. They actually do believe that Israel is our greatest ally. They're the greatest goy slaves ever. So what they thought, basically what their plan was, they assumed that if you cut off the head of the snake, so to say, like killing the Ayatollah, Iran would collapse, and the Iranian people would rise up and welcome us as liberators.
Genius!
Little democracy, whatever. Democracy never works.
I mean, I don't know, man. Well, we're talking about Americans right now, so yeah, that is what they thought.
Anyways, does that sound familiar? Because that's the same thing that happened in Iraq. That's what Dick Cheney said would happen in Iraq. But Iran is not Iraq. Instead of collapsing, all of the Iranians just got further radicalized, especially the IRGC. The IRGC has fanatics in it. They just locked down the country afterwards, and then they just dug in.
No, it has fanatics in it? Dude, do you know what you're talking... Do you have any idea what you're talking about right now? It has fanatics in it. No. Really? The IRGC? No way. Dude, the point, for those of you that aren't, like, picking up, like, this guy does not, he does not know what the fuck he's talking about, man. Like, not that that's a surprise to anyone, but the IRGC is, they are fanatics, okay? They are fundamentalists. That's what they are.
Failed to bring about the regime change that Trump wanted to bring in. So then the U.S. and Israel decided to just bomb them even more. Maybe that would work, Let's hit the sites where they make nukes. Why don't we start killing even more scientists? Why don't we just start killing everything we can, They hit their military bases, they hit Iranian military infrastructure, but still, Iran is still here. So we are now faced with a brutal, unavoidable reality here with our military. We can't achieve regime change in Iran from the air. You just can't. Nobody can, right? It's impossible. You know, the Air Force alone does not topple all the deeply entrenched, fanatical government IRGC people and yada yada. So if the bombings didn't work and assassinating the leadership didn't work,
I mean, our Air Force clearly, the aforementioned facts that I provided, which, to be fair, he wasn't privy to when recording this video. Like, we don't even have air supremacy. Okay, like, yeah, we were able to strike their leaders. That's fucking easy. Okay, you don't believe me? You don't believe me those strikes were so precise. It was so, America #1. Like, no, man. It's an open secret that these heads of state, they can easily be assassinated. Okay, the reason that they aren't assassinated, they can easily be assassinated by governments. Okay, not you and me, not like regular people necessarily, but foreign governments. We can like just take out their leaders. Okay, at any time, anyone can. Any government can. Pretty much. The reason that they don't is because of diplomacy. Okay, so when we killed all of the Iranian leadership, that wasn't that impressive. But when they did it, they were like, oh yeah, look at how awesome our Air Force is. Yeah. Yeah, and now look. Now they are shooting down our jets with fucking... For pennies on the dollar with their ballistic missiles. That's insane. That is insane. We spent $100 million on each of these jets. That's $100 million that could be spent on your health care. That's $100 million that could be spent on our infrastructure. $2 trillion, man.
what is the only way to actually achieve the regime change that Israel is demanding out of us? Because Israel can't go in and invade Iran on their own. They can't even deal with Hezbollah in Lebanon. They can't deal with the Houthis.
I'll be right back, man.
The U.S. certainly can't. We don't even have enough people to invade them. I'll get into that in a little bit. But what happens next then? Well, there's only two options that you can realistically think of when it comes to all of this. So the first is a full-scale, boots-on-the-ground invasion of Iran. And just nobody wants to do it. The people in D.C., like, you know, they're goy slaves. We talk about this all the time. Even they know that's a bad idea, you know. But the other idea, if we don't invade them, that would be the usage of nuclear weapons on them. Both of these options are absolute disasters for the United States. You can't take over a country.
No.
That only leaves us with two options. So
what?
Let's look at if the United States decided hypothetically.
Wait, nuking them would be bad?
Pete Hegseth said it himself. An invasion of Iran, it is not off the table, which is pretty scary to say. Now, it could just be a negotiating tactic, you know, just to keep your enemies.
Yeah, just a negotiating tactic.
If they have to.
Bro, Groypers are on suicide watch.
It's not Iraq, and it is certainly not Afghanistan. Iran is actually in a really good position for defending. They are a geographic fortress. I would just put it that way. The country is surrounded by a bunch of mountains, the whole entire country. It's an absolute...
Oh, wow.
What happened in Afghanistan? We spent 20 years...
Wow, so he's literally saying what I was saying. Wow. Wow. So you're telling me that the guy that admitted that he knows who I am, even though he didn't mention me by name, and... like I said at the time, was probably watching my videos and takes my talking points all the time. He is now saying the same things that I was saying, like, weeks ago. Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah, incredible. Incredible, man. Anyway, I wonder why you weren't saying this when we started invading Iran. I wonder why. Wow.
Who were armed with rusty AKs from the 80s and homemade explosives and a bunch of Soviet-era equipment. Those guys used the mountains to fight toe-to-toe with American special forces, and they fought the greatest military machine in human history. We'll give the U.S. that. You know, we have the best military in the world. It's untouchable. But, you know, they still brought us to a standstill. And yes, we killed vastly more of them than they killed us, but they bled us out for 2 decades and eventually outlasted us. And that's just in the Afghan mountains. Now, take that nightmare terrain and multiply it. Iran's mountains are worse. And unlike the Taliban,
he was right
Iran
about
actually
this.
has a modern uniform military. Now, the last time I checked, I think the Iranian military has around 150 to 200,000 soldiers. On top of that, you have the IRGC, which is a fanatical, trained military force with immense capabilities.
Okay, look, I'll just cut through all of this shit. Okay, I've already said all this shit before. Realistically, if we were to do a ground invasion, it would the conservative estimate is we would need to send at least 400,000 troops. Okay, and obviously we would suffer a lot of casualties. It would be really sad. Okay, it'd be really bad. but realistically, if we want to put boots on the ground and do another regime change, this time in Iran, again, then 400,000. Okay, that's it. It's never gonna happen. We do not have enough troops at the current moment to make that a reality. Okay, so what that means is if we put boots on the ground, there is going to be a draft. That's it.
It's not like the Taliban, where they kind of just had weapons like small arms and like Dishkas and RPGs. These guys actually have some capability. They have Russian and Chinese backing as well. They've also spent the last 40 years preparing exactly for this scenario, like I mentioned earlier. They have built very vast, deep underground missile cities. The facilities where they have all their nuclear weapons, like the one at Fordo, they're buried so deep under the mountains that our conventional bunker-busting bombs, like we used back in June 2025, they can't even touch them properly. So if we invade Iran, it won't be a quick victory. It won't be easy. It will make the invasion of Iraq look like a walk in the park, when that was already bloody enough as it is. This one would be even worse. It would be total bloodshed. It would require hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of American soldiers. And where are those troops coming from? Speaking of millions of soldiers, we're currently facing the worst military recruitment crisis in generations. We're still facing it. The military just likes to fudge their numbers so it doesn't look as bad. The Pentagon and the military it's still woke. It's still pro-Israel. A lot of people don't want to join because they're aware of all this shit.
It's
Everybody
woke.
is still aware the military has DEI mandates, and also the government still just alienates the very working class, patriotic young men who traditionally fill the ranks of the infantry, especially when you give Trump's track record in his
Yeah, you know, that's the problem. That's the problem, man. It's too DEI. Yeah, man, it's totally not all of the unnecessary warring and conflicts that America keeps entangling herself in. It's because there's too many black people in the military, don't you know?
Nobody wants to sign up to go die for a government that doesn't care for them, that only cares about Israel.
By the way, what he's saying is somewhat true, by the way. Black people are targeted by recruiters, okay?
Oh, our current military.
That's why there are, like black people fill out the numbers in the they pad out the numbers. They're in the military at a much higher rate. It's because they're targeted, and it's because of propaganda. Okay, that's it.
Is too small to occupy a country of almost 90 million.
Fucked up.
Or 90 million people in Iran. So, if the U.S. pushes for an invasion, they are going to have to start a draft. They are going to try to draft your sons and your daughters to go die in the Iranian mountains for a war that has nothing to do with protecting the American homeland. It is a war completely for Israel. It would tear this country apart at the seams, especially given how radicalized politics has become lately. And now, let's look at the nuke option. Now, dropping a nuke on Iran would instantly make us just look terrible. It would instantly turn us
into No. No. I mean, look, in all seriousness, yeah, of course. Of course. I really hope our leadership is not even at all entertaining that idea. But honestly, like, they probably are. Okay, let's be so for real. They have talked about using dirty bombs, and in fact, America has used dirty bombs before, which, of course, is completely unnecessary and results in a bunch of civilians dying from radioactive poisoning. Hello, Donut. Bro, I have a new video out. Please go like it. It is my magnum opus, okay? It's really good. I'm not gonna lie. Your boy got approved for an apartment? Hey. Cheers, bro. Cheers. Hey, sorry. I know about the BDS. Will do. Please. Here's the thing, bro. I don't think the video is gonna do good. Also, you're in it. You're in the video. It's small as fuck, 400 square foot for $775. That's really good. I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, me personally, I like small spaces. Please don't put me in it. I'm a dumbass. Too late. You're already in it. But don't worry. I don't think anyone's gonna watch it. It's not like the thing is, it's one of those situations. I'm really proud of the video. I don't think it's gonna perform well. I have two reasons for thinking this. Number one, I don't think her audience is gonna watch it, and number two, I don't think people outside of her audience are gonna watch it. I think the only people that are gonna watch it is my extremely small community, my few subscribers, which I do appreciate. Why do you look like some type of Polish monk? Okay, have you seen my YouTube channel? This is my new prop. I'm gonna be wearing this all the time now. Look. Here, I'll show you. I'll show you, bro. Check it out. Yeah, I know. I know, I'm the coolest motherfucker you've ever seen, I know. At least your alert doesn't say chocolate donuts says. I missed that, though. The reason I disabled that is because of, you know, I think it was because of Derek, actually. It's because of slurs. Anyway, this shit is way too long, bro. I look like a Jedi. Look like fucking Anakin. Alright, anyway, back to this stupid bullshit.
Response from Russia and China as well, it would likely start World War III. This is an
really?
They're not going to go down easy. So we're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Basically, they're trapped. We should just pull out. Well, I'll get to that in a second. But we can't win from the air, and we can't afford to win on the ground, and nuking them's just a bad idea overall.
We should just, like, the best thing we can do is just declare victory, just say that we won, and give up, okay? Like we do every other time. Well, I have another apartment to look at. A little bigger, but $850. I mean, that's not a lot more money. Only a little bit? How much bigger? How much bigger? How tall are the ceilings? That's where they get you. Okay, that's what they never talk about. Is the ceiling height. Okay, you gotta take note of that.
A deterrent of all those sorts of mass casualty weapons like that, you know? But, anyways, Donald Trump refuses to pull out. We're like, this doesn't benefit us, bro. Why are you not pulling out? Well, it's because he has a big ego, and he also has a lot of donors that are backing him. Yep. On a personal level, pulling out for Donald Trump would require admitting that Trump, in this intervention, was a colossal mistake, and his ego just won't simply allow that. He does not want to be painted as weak by the media, or even the hawkish wing.
Yeah, see, listen to Jimmy Talks when he talks about this. When he talks about America, when he talks about international, like, other foreign entities, their motivations, dog water, okay? Like, in one ear, out the other. It's not a studio, so a bit more space. The first one is a studio, a shoebox. Everybody loves a shoebox, okay? You want to know what I need from an apartment? I need a desk and a bed and maybe a kitchenette at most. But really, I can probably get by with just a hot plate. Okay, that's it. And a refrigerator, okay? And I'm a pretty good cook. Okay, I'm telling you. But anyway, you know, I do better in more confined spaces. You know, it forces you to be creative. Anyway,
his own Republican Party that just wants to go to war. So, and more importantly, you have to look at who funds the political establishment that we have in our government. We talk about this all the time. The mega donors, the massive super PACs, the people who actually dictate policy in our country because they just pay all the politicians off. Hate to say it, I really do. Every time this just blows my fucking mind, but almost all of them are hardcore Zionists who have paid an astronomical amount of money to enact their very fiercely Israel policies. At no cost can you ever go against Israel. They view the total destruction of Iran as...
What about if you bring a gal? What the fuck are you talking about, man? I don't go on dates. I just do this shit. I replaced my sex life with this. Unironically, bro, I replaced my day job with this. This is all I do. I have been doing some other stuff recently though, but it's like personal, it's like family stuff. So, yeah. Yeah, plus, don't you know I'm gay? Don't you know I'm gay, bro? I'm Gay Star. Didn't you know?
It's the only way forward. It's an existential...
You're looking at Gay Star right now.
They don't care how many Americans die or how much money it costs us to get it done. Trump is boxed in by the very people who bankrolled his political movements. Now, let's look at how Iran is...
Please don't say that. I'm homophobic.
This is where
yeah, me too, bro. I'm just kidding.
You thought it was bad enough. It just gets even worse because this is the economic pain that is hitting every single American that is watching this video, listening to it. Our gas prices are going up. It's absolutely ridiculous.
No!
The U.S. They can't defeat our Navy.
Not our gas prices, anything but that.
Conventional naval battle. We took out their whole entire Navy, but Iran's Navy just wasn't really the issue in the first place with all the missiles they have. But anyways, they are using asymmetric warfare, basically, and they are using their geography, which is right next to the Strait of Hormuz, to pretty much...
They are using asymmetric warfare, basically. Bro, just stop talking about this shit. Talk about Trump again. Talk about the GOP. Talk about American Zionists. Like you're not good at this, okay? You're not like I'm not good at it either, but that's why I don't really talk about it ever. Okay, like I watch Predictive History, and so you'll hear me repeat stuff that guy says, right? Professor Zhang, right? I love that motherfucker. You might even hear me repeat some stuff that Hassan says, But I am not a I'm not a military strategist. Okay? Neither is Hassan or Professor Zhang, okay? But like, given their background in political science and like in studying history, like world history, I trust their opinion enough to like somewhat predict the future. Okay, but when we're talking about this stuff, it's highly speculative. Like, it's kind of like, who knows what's gonna happen? Like, crazy shit happens all the time. But like, anyway, all that is to say, that's why I don't like spend a lot of time speculating about this shit. Okay, because like, I don't fucking know. I don't know what the fuck is gonna happen in Iran. I mean, I know generally. I know we're gonna lose. We're gonna lose unless we pull out right now. Unless we're already losing. That's it. Okay, I know that we're gonna keep losing, and the government, our government, is gonna keep saying we are winning. Okay, that's basically what's gonna happen. Okay, that's all of it. That's like 100% of what's happening.
Everybody else suffer for the U.S. and Israel's decisions. We're going to fuck the whole
Maybe
world.
that's kind of reductive, but I don't know.
After us, we're going to make everybody else pay for it. So, if you look at Iran on a map, pull up Google Maps if you have to, right to the south of the country, that is the Strait of Hormuz. This is a narrow choke point where roughly 20% of the entire world's daily oil supply passes through. Daily, I said 20% daily oil supply, along with massive amounts of gas. Iran has effectively closed all of this off, and they have also put a bunch of sea mines into the strait. So all of these...
It's really bad for Asia. They really don't like that.
They're not moving. Nobody's taking the risk to get blown the fuck up. It's even gotten so bad with the missiles and the mines that the U.S. Navy isn't even totally there. So they were going to escort all these ships. Well, it's too risky. So they're like, okay, well, why don't we take out all of these mine lanes?
Dude, throwback to like a few days ago in my comment section when I was arguing with people about this, and I was like, well, like, if we're winning so hard, then why are we not escorting ships through the strait? And they were like, they're clearing mines right now. We just bombed Karg. They're clearing mines. Like, dude, it never gets old, bro. It never gets fucking... This shit is so crazy to me, man.
The water is very shallow there. There's a bunch of explosives there. It's a bad idea. And on top of the mines, Iran is also using all their missiles and swarms of suicide drones to just completely fuck up the Strait of Hormuz. It's blocked off and nothing is going through. So you may be asking yourself, well, what does that mean? What's the result of blocking off the Strait of Hormuz and making sure all the ships and oil...
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, the global shipping companies, as I said, they drop their anchors. They're not moving. They're all terrified. I would be too. I don't want to be on a boat navigating through all missiles and fucking sea mines. I'm a civilian on a boat, you know what I mean? I would be scared too. The insurance premiums for sending a massive oil tanker.
Yeah, so like, when we talk about this, I think some people get confused, like, oh, well, like, Trump keeps saying, like, America we don't get our oil from the strait. Like, we only get, like, a little bit of oil from the strait. Why oil prices go up? Okay, it's because this whole oil system is globalized. Okay, so like, even though our oil supply isn't being super affected by this, and we also have our own domestic production capabilities, we rely on other nations getting their oil and having their oil, and so when they don't have their oil, the prices go up. Okay, for everything, including gas prices at the pump. Okay, so that's it.
To the Persian Gulf have skyrocketed. Half these companies, the insurance is like refusing to cover half of them too. So let's just say 0.4% of the whole entire ship's value, you know, that's how much extra you're going to have to pay for the insurance. That is an extra hundreds of thousands of dollars for one single boat. And because of this, many shipping companies are just simply refusing to go through the strait. It's closed off. We're not moving. It's too risky. It's too expensive to go through. We're not doing it. So the supply chain is kind of broken over there right now. So what does that mean for you, the person watching this, the average motherfucker? That means the price of oil has exploded. You are going to be paying for this because of the war for Israel. Now you're going to
I mean, motherfuckers are talking about going around Africa for the oil. That's like, they're like, I'm kind of straw manning right now, okay, but like, literally, I've seen people say that, and it's like, what, do you want oil to cost $300 a barrel? What the fuck? Go around Africa. Huh?
So we're looking at crude oil price right now.
My point is, there is no solution to this other than leaving Iran. That is the only solution to this, actually. Or maybe, like, if we could invent a time machine, go back and stop this from ever happening in the first place. That would be the real solution, okay? But, like, all we can do is just declare victory and pull out. That's what we need to do, okay? Declare victory and pull out, okay? That's what America does best. That's what we do best, baby.
It is just absolutely skyrocketing. So gas prices are
Let's do it.
We're seeing in some parts of the country that our gas is $5, $6, even $7 a gallon for some fucking gas. And that was very, very quickly added onto there. Like after the whole entire Iran thing happened, like the initial strikes on them, I'm pretty sure gas went up like $1 or $1.50 almost overnight.
Yeah.
Well, okay, gas is expensive, so getting to work is expensive. Is that all it is? No, actually it's not. Because everything you buy, like your groceries,
everything has to be the we know, bro. We know. Yeah, trucks. Yeah, everybody knows about trucks on the we know, man. Okay, we're aware.
or your clothes, or maybe you're building a house and you need building materials.
I mean, I don't know. I guess people in his audience might not fucking think about this shit. They think that like groceries just apparate in the fucking grocery store. That they grow the food in the store.
Big ass diesel trucks. So when the price of diesel goes up, the cost of everything else goes up. This war is causing massive inflation, to sum it all up. It is essentially a giant hidden tax that is placed directly onto you.
Not really hidden. It's not really a hidden tax, no. No, not at all, actually.
Fill up your gas tank, so we can thank all of our Zionist lobbyists for that. They're actively ruining your country.
Thanks, guys.
You can actually feel the direct effects of this. And as if it didn't get any worse, it's not just the shipping lanes. Iran is launching a bunch of ballistic missiles at all the Gulf countries, like Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Qatar, Bahrain. They are all getting attacked by missiles right now. These countries are very big, massive hubs for finance, and a lot of American investment is here as well. But that investment is drying up as these cities turn into war zones. And we also have American bases that were there. They were under the premise of, we will protect you guys. We want to invest in the Gulf countries. We want to have more American money there. We want our presence. This is part of the American petrodollar deal as well. Well, all of our interceptor missiles are not stopping all these missiles that are hitting the Gulf countries, so now they're pissed off at us. And on top of that, the American military bases that are there, like Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar, or all the bases in Iraq and Syria, they're just sitting ducks. They are constantly getting the incoming alarms. They are getting hit with drones. They are getting hit with missiles.
Yeah.
Those ADA guys, the air defense artillery, they're out there working their fucking asses off. They are taking incoming fire daily. So this brings us to the next part. When I mentioned ADA, there is a big mathematical reality that we cannot sustain this fight for very long. Regarding our military capabilities, it's not looking good. The ADA, as I mentioned, there's a big shortage right now of interceptor missiles. So the U.S. and our allies, South Korea, Europe, Ukraine, all of them, a lot of them rely on our highly sophisticated interceptor systems like Patriot missile batteries, THAAD missile defense systems, and SM-6 missiles on our Navy destroyers. Israel has the Iron Dome and all that stuff. These systems are amazing. They are incredible pieces of engineering. The fact that we even have these it's incredible. They're very good. It's very good shit. But they have a fatal flaw. They are very expensive, and they're also slow to produce because of how technical they are. So an American SM-6 missile, it costs about $4 million for one, just for one. A Patriot missile costs millions of dollars as well. Iran, on the other hand, simply put, they have a shit ton of missiles and drones. We do not have enough interceptors. They have the largest, most diverse ballistic cruise missile arsenal in the Middle East, and they mass produce all of these suicide drones for not that much money. It's $20,000 a piece. They can make way more, and they also manufacture them in-house. So that makes them a lot more dangerous. So let's do the math here. Iran is watching a $20,000 drone, and we are shooting it down with a $4 million missile. Iran doesn't need to destroy our bases to win. They're just going to bleed us out. It's a war of attrition. They just need to bankrupt our defense systems. They're also using drone swarm tactics to overwhelm our radar and deplete our interceptor stockpiles. We're taking shit out of Korea right now that was acting as a defense barrier against China and North Korea, and we're moving it over here. We're running out of shit. We're burning through our global reserve of ADA interceptors at an unsustainable rate. Our stockpiles are going down, and the defense contractors cannot build them fast enough to replace what we are shooting off. But guess who loves this, actually? Not just Iran. China and Russia take a lot of joy out of that. So while we're bleeding ourselves dry with all this shit, Russia and China are sitting back and they're just watching it with some fucking popcorn. In fact, they're actively participating.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really... I think Russia is enjoying this. Yeah, I don't think China is. I don't think China is, and I got two big reasons for this, okay? Number one, it's not that Russia isn't suffering, but I think that Russia is a little more insulated from this than China. Okay, they got the pipeline. They got the... Also, Russia has been orchestrating this for, I'm sorry to say, decades. Okay, Putin has been planning our empire's downfall for a long time. And that's what all of this has been about. Excuse me. That's what all of this has been about. So, basically, like... China is looking at us right now, and they're like, why are you killing yourselves? Like, why are you killing yourselves and also, like, hurting me at the same time? Okay, and Russia is seeing this like, yeah, kill yourselves, yeah, like that's what it is, man. Okay, it's not like, they're not like sitting back, like, enjoying the show, like, it's the dynamic that you're painting here, I think, is incorrect. Okay, but that's just my
Russia
opinion.
and China are using their intelligence agencies and their satellite networks to actually help Iran. They are providing Iran with early warning data. And
I'm just an
information,
American,
also
man.
cyber warfare support. So think about the hypocrisy here. For the last few years, the U.S. cheered on as we sent weapons and intelligence and targeting data to Ukraine to fight Russia. We used Ukraine as a proxy to test our weapons against all the Russian military stuff. Well, now it's backwards. China's doing the exact same thing to us right now. Iran is receiving advanced tech and components from China, and the Chinese military is using this conflict basically as a live-fire testing ground. Let's see how our shit fares.
That's not a perfect analogy, obviously. You know, I would say that China and Iran have a major advantage over Ukraine and Russia. But like again, I don't think that China wants this to happen though. Like I don't think that they want America to do this. Okay, which I mean, you know, is actually more in line with his analogy here between you know, America and Ukraine, but anyway, think about what you're saying, man. Think about what you're saying. You're basically saying America is Russia in the Ukraine war, which is accurate. Okay, of course, we're the unjustifiable aggressor. But yeah, I mean, anyway, let's keep
they're
going.
watching exactly how American air defense reacts and how our combat systems track targets and how our Navy operates under stress. They're getting a free rundown for us because it's a war for Israel. They are gathering a bunch of data that's just priceless. It's very valuable to them. And they will use it against us if we ever go to war over Taiwan. And actually, speaking of Taiwan, we have completely abandoned the Pacific theater to fight this desert war for Israel. Remember how I said we took all of our shit out of Korea? Well, that was also for China, you know, to counteract China. But we pulled several aircraft carriers and our guided missile destroyers and our precious air defense systems out of the Pacific, and we have put them into the Persian Gulf. So we've created a massive strategic void in Asia. So if China decides that tomorrow is the day they want to blockade Taiwan or take total control over it, what are we going to do to stop them? We're stretched too thin. Entirely too thin. We are sacrificing our strategic posture against our actual biggest global competitor just to benefit Israel. I mean, I guess Israel is really our biggest global enemy now. I'll just be straight up, you know, even though this is gay tube. But anyways, now let's move on. Let's talk about the domestic
gay tube.
Because this is where I start getting heated even more, because the America Last agenda truly just shows itself with the Trump admin, and they're just fucking up bad, man. Like, we're spending hundreds of billions of dollars and risking American lives. Some have already died. A bunch of them are probably maimed, and they're not even talking about it, because I think there was one report of like 150 soldiers got fucked up by a missile. Like, dude, some of these guys might have legs missing. Some of them might have arms missing. Enough is enough with the Israel war bullshit. Guys, if you're still here in this video, you're still watching along, put in 07 in the chat for America First. 07, America First, that's what we fucking support. We support our country first, not fighting for those motherfuckers. Why don't we fix this shit? You know what? I'm gonna stop before I get ahead of myself. Why don't you talk about the home front? You know, we have to secure Israel's border, apparently, and greater Israel, make them just a superpower. Meanwhile, our own southern border has been open for years. They say it's shut down now, but that doesn't really matter because we're not doing mass deportations. You know, millions of unvetted fighting-age males from all over the world have walked right into our country. We have a bunch of Somalian scammers. We have Indian H-1B scammers. We have all these people draining our welfare. We're being replaced. These cultures are incompatible with American ways of life. What the fuck is going on? Seriously, this shit's going down the toilet, and I'm sick of it. Well, why does this necessarily matter for Iran? Well, the Zionist media love to push this one as like they overdo it, but it is a real thing. Hezbollah is in South America. Well, we probably let some fucking people in on purpose. Who cares? Open the border up. Whoa, now we can just use them for a false flag attack. Perfect, they're already here. Why are we need to mass deport people? Okay, I'm getting flustered.
Think about what you're saying, man. How are the brown people taking more of the welfare when there is very little welfare to begin with, and that's the whole problem? And also, it's because we keep spending all of this money on these pointless fucking wars. Like, you're literally talking about how bad this conflict is, how it's a waste of money, a waste of time, a waste of American lives. And then in the same breath, you're like, yeah, and the real problem is the brown people scamming. Okay, it's not, man. It's not, and also, they're just like you. They're just, the descendants of immigrants that came to America, just like you. Right? They might not have gotten off the boat at Ellis Island, like your fucking Italian grandma. But like, they're as American as you are, man. That's my point.
Recording this video, you know. But anyways, the threat is not just physical with Hezbollah.
They're not your enemy
in South America. sure we already know where they are, but they're not going to really do anything about it. But Iran is actually a highly capable cyber power as well. Because they can't beat our Navy or our Air Force head on, like we established earlier, they do rely heavily on a bunch of hackers. They've done this stuff before. Right now, as we bomb their cities, the Iranian cyber units are trying to get into American critical infrastructure. Check out my video on the electrical grid and how weak it is. Now, if you watch my electrical grid video, you know that there's a lot of backdoors regarding Israeli companies. Well, Israel would love nothing more than for us to invade Iran. Well, they have a bunch of backdoors in our stuff. What's saying that they couldn't just false flag attack us and then blame it on Iranian cyber attacks or something like that? It's not far-fetched to say that they would have a false flag attack. We've already had the USS Liberty.
Yeah, no, that's what they're planning, man.
Is this really far-fetched? No, it's not.
Our government is planning on attacking California, or they are, they're either planning on attacking it themselves and then, you know, making it look like Iran did it, or they are trying to get Iran to do it, or they are trying to get a group affiliated with Iran to do it. They are going to allow them to do it. They are not going to stop them. They are going to know about it. And that's it. That's basically it.
Now, do I think a false flag could happen? It's possible. You guys should always be prepared for this kind of stuff. But anyways, let's say that they did do a false flag attack on our critical infrastructure. They have the capability to target our water treatment plants. They have our power grids, our hospitals, the banking system. The neocons that run this country right now, that Trump said he wasn't. He said he hated them, but now his whole entire administration is neocons. They are so obsessed with bombing Iran for Israel that they have completely ignored the fact that Israel can just force us to do whatever Israel wants us to do with a false flag attack. Just plunge all of our American cities into darkness. They have the back doors for it. Israel has the best intelligence agency in the world, probably. They have the most capabilities, Mossad, Unit 8200. They could do all this shit if they decided to. Now, not just that. Furthermore, let's look at the economic pain that I kind of mentioned earlier. Look at what this war is doing to the US dollar. So, for decades, America has enjoyed financial supremacy because of the petrodollar system. Countries had to buy oil using US dollars, which allowed us to export our inflation. It doesn't really matter because everybody uses our money, so we can just print it out no matter what. Compared to any other country that tried to do it, it would harm them greatly. But we're the world's reserve currency, and everybody needs to buy all their gas and oil in our money. But this war is actually acting as a catalyst to destroy the petrodollar system. Iran, Russia, and China are all very big in the BRICS alliance. So as we sanction the Middle East and throw the global energy market into total chaos, the rest of the world is kind of thinking about a way out of the American financial system. Think about the Ukraine-Russia war. When we went and put sanctions on Russia, their economy just came back and it was stronger than ever now. So that didn't really work. They can just work around it. So BRICS is getting stronger because of all this bullshit. Countries are starting to trade oil and energy using the Chinese money. And Iran's even said if you want to pass through here now, you have to use Chinese money. You may even have to use Russian money. Or you may need to use Indian money. But they're saying they want to use Chinese money. So when the petrodollar gets weaker, or let's just even say it totally collapses, all those dollars are going to come flooding right back to our shores. We're really, really going to feel it. That would be catastrophic Weimar Germany levels of hyperinflation. Because if you think the groceries are expensive now, wait until the dollar loses its reserve status if that happens. The American middle class would be completely wiped out. Everybody here would be fucked with a capital F. Well, who's getting rich off of all this anyways? Military-industrial complex, like usual. Every time one of those $4 million SM-6 missiles is fired to shoot down a cheap Iranian drone, the executives at Raytheon and Lockheed Martin and the rest of them are making a shit ton of money, popping out more missiles. The defense contractors are getting a lot of money off of this. The think tanks are pushing for us to stay in this war. The talking heads on all the boomer Fox News and even the boomer CNN shit, they're demanding we bomb more targets. The Zionists are demanding it. They pay off all of our politicians to do so. And all these guys are also in bed with the military-industrial complex. It benefits them. It doesn't benefit us. It is a massive, corrupt wealth transfer from the pockets of you and I, the average American taxpayer, into the bank accounts of the permanent uniparty establishment. Which brings us to the ultimate question that I already mentioned earlier. Well, this war does not benefit America. Why are we fighting it? What is the end game? Well, if you strip away the propaganda and you look at the geopolitics of all this, taking out Iran ultimately does not help America. But it does benefit Israel. The goal here is to remove the only serious regional rival to Israel, and it's making them the undisputed regional power of the Middle East. If Iran is destroyed, Israel becomes the dominant superpower in a region that connects Europe, Asia, and Africa. They become the masters of the Eurasian continent's very important shipping crossroad trade routes. And from an American nationalist perspective, such as myself and many of the people who watch this channel,
by the way, sorry, I'm still focused. I'm thinking about something you said earlier. Okay, he said that like the whole admin is neocons. That's somewhat accurate, but I'm pretty sure he's only saying that because of fucking Joe Kent leaving,
we all kind of
bro.
have to ask ourselves a question here: is that actually good for us? Well, obviously not. We look at the history of this, historically speaking. When a nation achieves total regional dominance and no longer faces any existential threats in its neighborhood, it becomes...
Look, man, do you really think it would be that much better if the Groypers were in charge? Do you think that the Groypers wouldn't be randomly warring with random countries? If the Groypers were in charge, we would nuke Israel, okay? Which would be disaster. Which would be terrible.
Incredibly independent, and it becomes a lot more brazen. So if Israel achieves superpower status in the Middle East, which was, by the way, paid for by American blood and American tax dollars, they are then going to push back against American influence even harder than they already do. Think about that. They will have no reason to listen to Washington. They own Washington. We already see them act against our interests. We see them selling advanced military tech to China when they steal our shit. We see them ignoring our diplomatic requests while gladly taking our billions of dollars in foreign aid anyways. So if we eliminate Iran for them, we are essentially creating a monster that will actively challenge us. While we do the dirty work for them, taking all the casualties, giving them all their money, absorbing all the economic damage just to crown another country as the king of the region? It is the definition of an America Last foreign policy. It's right in everybody's face now, obviously. And also, why don't we look into the risk of how this can further escalate into a wider regional war? Because this is not just going to stay contained to the borders of Iran. We already see that now when they're sending all these missiles at the Gulf countries, right? So Iran's strategy is built on something called the, air quotes, ring of fire. Basically what this means is that their network of heavily armed militias are surrounding Israel and a bunch of US bases. So if this war expands, Hezbollah and Lebanon will fully start sending all their rockets right into Israel. The power grids and places and all those cities in Israel, they're completely overwhelmed and destroyed. So if Israel starts losing that conventional fight, they will drag the US into a direct ground war to save them. At the same time, all of the Iranian-backed militias in Iraq and Syria will then launch total war on the small and isolated American outposts that are scattered across these countries. And we have thousands of American troops sitting in not the best positions right now. There's not enough of us. So a wider war means that those bases become kill zones. Let that silence sink in for a second. They turn into kill zones. A wider war means those bases become a bunch of dead Americans. We would be looking at a frantic, very bloody evacuation that makes the Afghanistan pullout look fine. We will lose hundreds, if not thousands, of American service members for a mission that has zero strategic value, again, to America, only for Israel. And we also have to ask, because this just keeps getting fucking worse and worse the more you look into it. What happens if Iran feels that its total destruction is imminent? Like I said, this is existential for them. Well, that brings us to the nuke option. Iran has been enriching uranium for years. Everybody knows this. So if all of the Iranian top leadership believe that their regime is actually in its final days, they will absolutely sprint to build a nuclear weapon. They probably have one now. You know, they will view it as the ultimate insurance policy. That's why we bombed them at their facilities in the first place last year, Midnight Hammer. But once Iran crosses that threshold of using nukes, the entire Middle East is going to go nuclear as well. Saudi Arabia will buy a nuke from Pakistan the next day. Pakistan has a bunch of nukes. Turkey will start their own program. Egypt will start their own program. We will have a standoff of nuclear weapons in the most unstable region on the planet. Think about that. It doesn't matter if you live over here. That shit can still reach out and touch us. And if it doesn't, then a bunch of Americans over there are going to die anyways who don't deserve to. And if Israel believes Iran is about to actually use a nuke, Israel will use everything in its arsenal to stop it. They have plenty of nukes as well. They're unacknowledged nukes that they won't tell people how many they have, not even their supposed greatest ally. So if a nuke goes off in the Middle East, the global order will simply just collapse. Russia and China will not sit by idly if nuclear fallout starts drifting towards their borders, or if their primary Middle Eastern ally, which is Iran, is vaporized. We are playing a very dangerous game now. Let's say we're playing Russian roulette, but the revolver has all the bullets in it. You're going to lose either way. And our leaders are still acting like, oh, it's a game, whatever, man. We got to do what Israel says, no matter what. Think about that. Let's look at the arrogance of the politicians who got us into all this. The Uniparty does not give a absolute single shit about any of this. Look at the last 25 years. I mean, they didn't care about all that. Let's look at the global war on terror. We spent over $8 trillion on all that. We sacrificed thousands of American soldiers.
They just care about getting their bag, bro.
With PTSD, missing limbs, missing teeth, fucked up jaws, fingers, feet, heart, legs, burn pits. Anything you can think of, they came back with it. Traumatic brain injuries, the list goes on and on. And for what?
Yeah, the burn pits are crazy, bro.
Fuck. We handed Afghanistan back to the Taliban. They took it over in, what, like a week? We left behind billions of dollars of military hardware that they now all have. We turned Libya into a failed state. Everywhere that we have to intervene on.
Thanks, Obama.
Chaos and destruction follows, and that's what Israel wants. They want to balkanize the region. And ultimately, we pay for it. The ultimate payment, the American taxpayer, we pay for all of it. Now, they want to do it all over again in Iran, which is a country that's vastly more powerful and more populated and more geographically defensible than any nation we have fought since Vietnam. So all these boomer news shit media companies, conglomerates, they tell us that we are fighting for democracy or freedom for the Iranians. We're doing it to fight China. That's all bullshit. It's a lie. We are fighting for the geopolitical ambitions of foreign lobbies, the profit margins of defense contractors, and the fragile egos of Donald Trump and all the other magatards who refuse to admit that they just made a mistake here. Well, if you pull out, you admit defeat, that would be the best option for us, but it makes us look weak. Trump cannot make America look weak. He absolutely refuses to. Because who's to say Iran stopped them? Well, who's to say that other countries aren't going to start stepping on our toes now? The U.S. absolutely cannot do that. So while the Uniparty wants us all to go to war in Iran for Israel, our own country is falling apart. Our national debt is surging past, I think, $38 or $39 trillion. The interest payments on our debt alone are eclipsing the whole entire defense budget. Our infrastructure is crumbling. Our manufacturing base has been hollowed out a long time ago and shipped off to China. Our cities are being flooded with illegal aliens. They're draining all the local resources. They're making all the hospitals have overloaded.
Dude, oh my God, bro. How can you say all that true shit, and then at the end be like, and also the brown people, they are ruining the country. They are brown, of course. It's like, no, man, the fuck was that? It's not the brown people. It never was. But all of that other shit is true, though.
It's everywhere. They're making the police.
I like this video, honestly.
They're driving up crime. They don't pay fucking
taxes.
taxes.
That's why I'm not
People are
talking
losing
that
their
much.
jobs to an H-1B and AI. It's just not looking good for anybody. Anybody who's a true American nationalist, they would look at all this and they would realize, you know, there is any of them in the government. They would look at this and be like, our primary duty is to the citizens of the United States. A real America First policy means securing our own borders before we worry about Israel's border. Who gives a fuck about that? I'm American. I don't care.
Is that you?
The American nationalists would be rebuilding our industrial base, so we aren't dependent on a hostile nation like China that wants to see us fail for basic medical supplies and technology and stuff like steel. An American nationalists would keep our military strong and rested and prepared to defend
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man.
rather than treating our soldiers like expendable mercenaries for Israel. We have absolutely no vital national security interest in overthrowing the government of Iran. Yes, the Iranian regime is hostile to us, but that's like way down at the bottom of the list of pressing priorities.
Bro!
It's like almost a non-issue. And you're certainly not going to catch me defending Iran, but it's just a non-issue. We have stuff that's way more important we got to take up.
You're not gonna catch me defending Iran. Yeah, good one, man. Yeah. Yeah, great. Look, let me tell you something, man. The people that watch your videos, they think you're a dumbass, okay? They do. They think you're like a useful idiot, okay? They don't give a fuck about your opinions. All they want you to do is to say shit like that, okay? But, like, they want you to dog whistle more. Okay, so, like, when you talk about the brown people, they like that. When you talk about, hey, you don't like Iran. Oh, you're not going to catch me defending Iran. Yeah, they like that a little bit. Okay, they don't care about all the other boring shit that you talk about because you're a dumbass and they think, and they know it. But they don't realize that they are almost equally as dumb as you are. They're just like a lot more, they have a lot less humility about it. Okay, they smell their own farts. Okay, that's it. That's it. They think that they're smarter than you because they know that you're dumb. This video is, like the thing is, I like this video more than a lot of your other videos, but it still sucks. It's still dog shit. Like, do what Tom Foe is doing. Do what Tom Foe is doing. What is Tom Foe doing? Tom Foe, he made that Christian Zionism video. That shit was awesome. Okay, that was a good video, unironically. Unironically, I like that video. But his approach is he makes videos like that, and then he also makes like super racist videos, you know, the Rumble exclusive. The Rumble exclusives. But what you're doing here is you're jumbling it all up. You're mixing it all in, okay? Like, no, man. Don't do that. Okay, make your based content, and then make your woke content. Do you understand? Like Tom Foe is doing. Like Tom Foe made a video about Christian Zionism. That's woke. It is, okay? So do that, do something like that, and then also you can have your racism-based videos, okay? Your Rumble exclusives. I'm telling you, it's the way to go.
All over our government. They don't care about any of that. It is not the job, though, of the American working class to pay for us to police all of Israel's enemies, especially when those enemies have nukes and it's costing us a shit ton of money and it's fucking up the rest of the world's oil supply. You know, a lot of people are waking up to this, and we need to wake up and realize that the people pushing for this war do not have our best interests at heart. The politicians that are voting to fund all of this, the media that's cheering on these airstrikes, it's so base, bro, just trust the plan, and all these defense executives that are making a shit ton of money off of all this, none of them are going to be the ones dealing with $5 a gallon gas. It doesn't even matter to them. $5 for a gallon, that's nothing to them. They can burn a bunch of money. Who cares? They have a bunch of it. None of them are going to be the ones getting laid off when the economy shits the bed. And none of them are going to be sending their kids to fight in the mountains of Iran. They are completely insulated from the consequences of their actions. You are the one who's going to have to pay the price. This is a trap. This is a strategic dead end. It is absolutely such a terrible, eye-rolling, stupid idea, and they know it. They know that this is a bad idea. Trump's doing it. All the other politicians are doing it because they get paid off. That's really all it is. You know, we're draining our national wealth. We're depleting our military arsenals. The evangelicals think we have to do this to bring the end times for Jesus, even though the evangelical POV on Christianity is heretical. You know, it's all fucked. It's time. It is time we end this madness. It's time that we demand our leaders put the American people first. I don't know, crazy concept, right? Just saying. It's just still so crazy to me that throughout all of history, the country's basic prerequisite for running a country is to put your own people first. But that's gone out the window. It still blows my mind sometimes when you think of the extreme gravity of how far they actually go with this stuff, though. We simply don't have the money. We don't have the military. And frankly, we don't have the stomach for another 20-year desert war. This shit's got to end, man. We need a foreign policy that's based on realism and national interest, not these greater Israel fantasies and warmongering for neoconservative military-industrial complex cronies and the demands of foreign donors who want their country to be better than ours. It's pitiful. It's absolutely pitiful. They are traitors. They are traitors. And I'm not going to say the rest of what I would say for YouTube purposes. I think you all catch my drift, but
yeah, true.
Maybe worse than that, but anyways. Until we get that, meaning like politicians that actually care about our country first, the decline of the American empire is only going to...
Yeah, isn't it crazy that, like, Edward Snowden is a traitor? Like, he's a traitor. He would be executed by the state. Or at least he would go to jail for the rest of his life. He's a traitor. Why? because he exposed that they were spying on us. That's it. Wow.
So, you know, if you think it's worse, buddy, it's just going to get worse. You guys know that meme? So, I'm sorry to tell you this, friend, but it's only going to get worse. It's got that guy on the truck turning around looking at you in like a war zone. But, all right, guys, that's all I've got for today. Think about what I covered here today. Look past the mainstream narratives and follow the money. It always comes back to the money. Israel controls America. We're not a sovereign country anymore. So make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Share this video because you know the
Get the Zionists out.
Kind of truth.
Get them out.
Like I said at the beginning of the video, check out my Rumble, check out my X.
That's who we should be. Every time. Let me tell you this, Jimmy Talks. Please, if you're watching this, hear me out, man. Every time you think about talking about brown people, instead stop and talk about Christian Zionists. Okay. Anytime you want to talk about getting the brown people out. This is just a good rule of thumb. Okay? Stop what you're talking about and be like, oh, wait, I'm a fucking idiot. Christian Zionists are the problem. Okay? And then say that instead. Okay? Does that make sense? Because I don't hear you talking about that enough, man.
The channel, the Patreon link is down below. All the links are in the description below. Guys, stay safe and stay vigilant. This false flag stuff kind of freaks me out low-key. All right, guys, God bless you and your families. America first and America only. Jimmy Talks out.
Yeah, alright. I'm going to pause the stream for just a few minutes. I know, classic J-Star moment, but I'll be right back.